Garry Kasparov was one of the most aggressive chess players in the history. He would often sacrifice pieces and launch massive attacks against his opponents, all while their pieces would watch idly while their king got destroyed. In today's video, we're going to look at the 7 rules Kasparov used to launch these massive attacks. Let's jump straight into the video. So, we're analyzing a game here from 1980. Garry Kasparov is playing against Marjanovic, a very strong grandmaster from Serbia. He opened with the move pawn to d4. We saw knight to f6 and c4. So very traditional theory being followed here. Kasparov went for a Catalan type setup. I just love this opening and I play it myself, which is one of the reasons why I chose to analyze this game in particular. And in this position, move number 7 only, Kasparov played a very interesting move, and it is the move I'm using to indicate rule number 1, which says, make weak squares around your opponent's king. Kasparov played this move pawn to d5, which is a pawn sacrifice. This pawn can just be taken, but you'll see now that this pawn on e6 is gone, the pawn on f5, or the square on f5 rather, is undefended, and a knight can easily jump there, which is exactly what Kasparov did, knight h4. Here, black played c6, and there was an exchange in the center. The knight went to its dream square, and here, this is all theory, by the way. Kasparov was known for playing large amounts of theory. Pawn to e4, nice break in the center. The bishop went to f6. There was an exchange here. Kasparov is just developing all his pieces, and in this position, move number 16 is where we are looking at rule number 2, which says, improve your position while making threats. Kasparov played this beautiful move, bishop to h3, putting his bishop onto a more active diagonal and making a threat of knight to h6 check, which would just win the queen. So in this position, black tried to respond with king to h8, but it is time for rule number 3. In this position, you can see black's pieces are mostly here on the queen side. The only piece really defending the king is this bishop on f6. So rule number 3 says, remove the king's only defender. And Kasparov did this in a very creative way. Knight to e4. This knight cannot be taken because the pawn is pinned to the queen. So the bishop is really under attack. Bishop takes b2 was black's answer. And here, most people would play the move rook to b1. But Garry Kasparov knew the rule of activity is more important than material and played knight to g5. Now, if this rook is taken, black is basically asking to lose the game after queen to h5 and this big checkmate threat. So here, black played queen to c6. His idea was to go queen to g6 and also setting up some battery here against the white king. And this rule number 5, if you take away anything from this video, it is this rule. This is the golden rule, and it's called prophylactic attack. And let me demonstrate this to you. White really would love to play the move queen to h5 and launch some checkmate threats. But this move would just be very bad because black would have the great response queen to g6, defending the checkmate and offering a queen exchange. So instead of playing queen to h5, Kasparov noticed that this was black's big plan. How do you prevent the queen from getting to g6? Beautiful move, knight to e7. Attacking the queen can no longer go to g6, the knight is defending the square. The queen can also not go to h6, knight takes f7, you'll just lose the queen. So the queen went to f6. Now, rule number 6 says if you want to be a very good attacking player, there's a big misconception that grandmasters are calculating 10 moves ahead in every single position. That is not necessarily true, but one thing, a grandmaster will never miss a 2-move tactic. So you have to be very good at the simple tactics. And that's exactly what Kasparov was. And he played a beautiful tactic in this position. Knight takes h7. And that is actually a brilliant move. And why? Well, The knight cannot be taken. Queen h5 will be an Anastasia's checkmate, or not quite, because the queen would be able to block, but that would just be a loss of a queen. So in this position, Black played the move queen to d4. He's desperately trying to exchange queens. Obviously, when you have such a big attack launched, you are never going to exchange the queens. Kasparov played queen to h5. This is a great move, threatening all sorts of checkmates. Black responded with g6, and once again I'm going to indicate this idea of prophylactic attack. Now, the most natural move is to go to queen to h6, but this would be a much worse move, as if the queen goes to h6, queen to g7 would offer a queen exchange, and white really does not want to be exchanging queens in this position. So Kasparov played the much better move, queen to h4. Now, queen to g7 would not come with the threat of exchanging queens, so it would simply not be a good move. And in this position, Black decided to grab the material by taking the rook, but there is a checkmate in 3, and that is rule number 7. Always calculate the easiest checkmate. Kasparov found it, knight to f6, and after king to g7, you can take your pick of checkmates, either knight to f5, followed by queen to h6 is checkmate, or queen to h6, king takes knight, and bishop to g5 is a checkmate as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have one big announcement before you guys leave. I've launched a new website where you can book a coaching call with myself, and you can do that at jdchesscoach.com. I hope to see you guys there.